Welcome. This is AllMinucOne Quick Shots. So, the final presidential debate happened last night, and here's my take. Net neutral. Now, there might be some people who Trump swayed. I doubt there are anyone who Biden swayed. But generally speaking, people's minds are already made up. There may have been some minor switching here at the last moment, seeing that we are a week and a half away, 2 weeks max, whatever it is, from the election. And I don't see people not being decided yet. But it is possible. It is potential. Now, as the Hunter Biden scandal unravels, of course, Joe wants to continue to make statements that he had nothing to do with it, blah, 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 blah. Look, if you gave Ukraine Gate and Russia Gate and all the other nonsense, the Mueller report, all of that, any sort of credence, then you have to give this credence. And there's far more evidence for this. And we know that the stuff that happened with Ukraine and Russia was all bunk. I mean, literally, Joe Biden did what Donald Trump was accused of. He literally quid pro quoed. And whatever, he can. But he did it for his son's favor because Burisma, the founder of Burisma or the CEO or whoever it was seemingly corrupt. And it seems like that there's dirty politics going on there to enrich himself. Here's another thing. Old Joe Biden from Scranton was worth $30,000, literally, when he became vice president. His net worth, that's what it was. So after being in the Senate for so many years, he essentially gained no wealth. And I remember this. I remember this well because they talked about how he wasn't like the other politicians. So once he got in the office, all of a sudden he starts gaining wealth. He's got prestige as the vice president. Before that, Joe Biden wasn't prestigious. Everyone thought he was a adulting idiot. Like, we know that he's a plagiarizer. Joe Biden last night was going, hey, trust me. You people know me and they trust me. Okay, well, you were caught plagiarizing in the election you ran in the 80s. You plagiarized a British politician, his speech almost word for word. You've made claims about being at the top of your class and your in your college and law school, and that wasn't true at all. He's made all kinds of claims and plagiarized all kinds of things over the years. He's also been blatantly racist, which Donald Trump did call him out on. He said things like, I don't want racial integration in schools because then our kids will be in a racial jungle. He's worked hand in hand with known KKK members and Dixiecrats in the past. And don't get me wrong, folks, I believe that you can change. You can change your ideas. You can change your mind, but there's this pattern. There's this pattern of behavior. You know, poor kids are just as smart as white kids. Like, what do you think Joe Biden actually believes and thinks? See, that's that soft bigotry of low expectation that the Democratic Party just lets go. And then my favorite is the Joe Biden believe me face, which is this. No, I didn't do anything. Believe me, I did this. Watch. He looks like a psychopath. His eyes get huge. He doesn't blink. His smile he looks like someone trying to intimidate you. It's like, that's what he does that's his believe me look. That's his trust me, I'm lying to you look. Interestingly, Robert Barnes, the lawyer, constitutional lawyer, talked about the first debate in his analysis and was saying, well, people like liars as politicians, and who's the better liar? Well, Joe Biden's a horrible liar. Remember, you ain't black if you don't vote for him. And then he's going to turn around and say he's never said anything like that. Joe Biden said yesterday in the debate that there wouldn't be any banning of fracking. Yet Trump was in Pennsylvania the other day with a mega screen teleprompter, like a mega screen, not teleprompter, a mega screen showing that Biden said this, that he was going to ban fracking. Like, the guy will say and do anything to get power, and that's what's going on here. That's what's always going on with politicians, especially the Democratic politicians. Now, people on the right do the same, don't get me wrong, but it's more like it's the people in the know. And so my thing is, I'm always talking about the globalist. Well, what's Donald Trump doing? Well, he's getting us away from globalism. He's getting national sovereignty back. He's increasing manufacturing. Joe Biden said people are learning to die as an opposition to Trump's people are learning to live with the coof. And people need to learn to live with the coof. I'm afraid that you need to come to terms with reality, folks, that the coof is here to stay. Now, it may eventually burn out, but all this lockdown stuff, all this mask stuff, all this stuff is just preventing it from spreading throughout society and getting things done and over with. Like the original assessment was 15 days to slow the spread, right? Don't overwhelm the hospital systems. The hospital systems are not overwhelmed with this. We are going to see spikes. It's going to be a regular thing, just like flu is. It's how these things work. You know, you can say, well, it didn't help with SARS and MERS. They were weaker viruses that did not spread as quickly. They were more lethal, far more lethal, but they didn't spread as quickly. This spreads far more easily, and it is what it is. And it will mutate. It will continue to mutate. I mean, the idea that it's a novel coronavirus is that it just is a mutation of some sort. Probably lab grown, but, you know, I didn't say that because I might get banned because there's no evidence. You know, and that's the other thing. Biden's always talking about how China's good. If you go look at his past record, how China's great, this and that and the other thing. And yet Biden's taking money from them and the Russians and whatever else, or at least his son is. So what's that about? We can talk about Trump's secret bank account that's listed on his IRS forms that he said was closed last night. I mean, he was a businessman. And Trump's most salient point is this. Joe, you've been in office for 47 years and you haven't done anything. You keep saying you're going to do something and you haven't done anything. Yeah, I don't know. Generally, I think that these things go something like this. Trump's base, still Trump's base. Biden's base, well, he doesn't really have one. He has people who don't like Trump and a lot of people who probably won't be voting. I will be really, really surprised if Biden wins. I know what the polls say. I know all this stuff. I had a feeling that Trump was going to win the last election. I didn't vote for the guy. I didn't vote for anybody for president last election. So you have a lot of people now, like me, who are willing to do that. We're willing to vote for Trump now. And all of the never Trumpers, well, screw them. I don't like those people anyways. I mean, they're probably fine people, you know, one-on-one, but I mean, their politics are horrible. They're globalists. They're about enriching themselves and the corporations and all this other stuff. Biden's going on about continuing lockdowns and making everyone wear masks all the time. Like, no, I'm a free man. I'm sorry. Like, who are you going to get to enforce that? Whose boot are you going to get to step on my neck to make that happen? And then he says he's going to bring in or allow 11 million illegal immigrants, amnesty and whatever else. Well, don't get me wrong, amnesty might be the way, but I doubt it. And it's going to be a nightmare of a mess. And these are all problems that we've just kicked down the road, and the Democrats have done it forever. They've had political power forever. They have run the Congress and Senate and much of the presidency and most of our states and major cities for over 100 years, folks. Do your homework on it. Research it. I'm not going to get into all the stuff. I've made videos on it, and you should go be smart and do it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. Because I'm telling you, I'm not spouting off a bunch of bunk here. I only speak truth. And I don't need my crazy believing eyes to speak it either. No. Joe Biden's a nightmare. He's only liked by people with Trump derangement syndrome, or progressives who think they can bully him and push him around, which they will. And I really don't think anyone was moved on that debate, but you know, I don't think Biden did a good job. In fact, I think his Adderall or whatever the world he might be taking to keep his cognitive abilities up started to wear off about 30 minutes into it. But that's about it. That's all I got for you guys. So this has been AllMinucOne Quick Shots, and you all be well.